Group has just been awarded $11 million in funding, which will help them build 2 industrial fly factories in the Western Cape. CNBC Africa's Benedict Partha reports.
Jason Drew believes the answer to food security and overfishing lies in the humble fly and its larva. Drew is the founder of nutrient recycling company AgriProtein, which was this past month awarded $11 million in funding from an overseas consortium to transform his fly farm situated on the outskirts of Cape Town into a commercial venture.
So we've been in research mode for 4.5, 5, nearly 6 years now. And just in the last month we've received an investment round of $11 million from 4 investors based in Australia, America, Europe and South Africa. And that $11 million will fund the first 2 global scale factories. So these are massive industrial scale factories.
The farms will harvest fly larvae, which is dehydrated and processed into chicken and fish feed. The venture taps into what is estimated to be a $20 billion global market for protein.
8.5 billion flies in captivity, busy recycling, just like they would do in nature. And out of that, we will produce 7 tons a day, which will sell at roughly $1,400 a ton at today's price. And that makes us a very healthy return on the capital investment. But this is only the first 2 factories. The really exciting thing is our investors have agreed to fund a further 40 factories, of which these are just the first 2.
AgriProtein has already signed memorandums of understanding with several agricultural units based in the Western Cape for the supply of the feed.
We've registered our product as a feed from the Department of Agriculture, but it needs to be certain specs in terms of hygiene and its preparation. And for the human side, for our employees, we will have a immunization program, typically that you would have for staff that work at transfer stations or people that work at wastewater treatment works in the municipal setup. So, so that all those things we will have in place as precautionary measures, but the reality is that a lot of the dirt around flies is simply a perception issue, and it's not necessarily more dangerous, this environment, than any other agricultural venture.
Research into this fairly new industry remains an ongoing process. The livestock in question may be slightly unconventional in nature, but the farm's AgriProtein plans on building are based around what Drew calls a closed loop in agricultural production.
Although you're rearing them on the food that they like to eat, we're trying to, do it in large numbers, much bigger numbers than they're used to in the wild. So this causes problems, and we have to learn mechanisms to overcome those problems and optimize our process, and that's really the name of the game to this whole research that we're doing, to all of the research that we're doing is optimizing our process.
If it wasn't for flies, we'd still be knee-deep in bacteria rotting on dinosaur carcasses. Nature's natural clean-up agent is the fly. Well, the fly and its eggs. In the wild, a fly will lay its eggs on a dead carcass. Those eggs will hatch into larvae. They will disinfect that carcass, consume the goodies, the protein in that carcass, and re-emerge into flies. If they don't get eaten first by a passing bird who just pecks at the larvae on the carcass. So it's an entirely natural process. The really clever person here is Mother Nature. We're just good at copying her.
AgriProtein hopes to build 40 factories over the next 10 years. The company has also received licensing requests from a number of international partners, which may see the business going global in the medium term. Benedict Partha, CNBC Africa, Stellenbosch.